All right, next thing is the tray. All right, I have the paper with all the dimensions out here to reference. I have a Sharpie. This doesn't have a good corner or good edge to start from, so I have a square just in case to double check that I'm making rectangles and not rhombuses. All right. This edge is relatively square, so I'm gonna draw a straight edge going across it. And actually, I'm just going to continue this edge up. So I'm going to mark a line that's going to be perpendicular to that pre-cut side. All right, the overall width is 8.5. So I'm going to come up from that line, 8.5. Again, same thing, I'm marking it in 2 spots to keep the line parallel to the line I just made. This edge, just continue up, and from there I'm going to come over 18 3/4. Slide everything over so I have one more room. 18 3/4. 18 3/4. Alright, so this is my overall rectangle. Now I'm going to make all my bend lines. The dashed ones are bends, the outside dark lines, solid lines are cut lines. So first one is this first dash line, which is 1/4 inch in. Then from that one, the second one is 1 1/8 inch. And it's going to be the same on both sides. Alright, so 1/2, 1/4, 1 inch and 1/8. Quarter, inch and 1/8. Quarter, inch and 1/8. Quarter, inch and 1/8. Now on the sides, I have a 1/2 inch tab. Half, half, and just marking in 2 spots. Half, half. Cross. Alright, all my lines for this one are pretty much laid out. In the drawing it has partitions. I'll get into that. I'll kind of leave that up to you guys. I'm going to finish cutting up here. This one, laying it out isn't super difficult. Bending it, you have to do it in the right order, or else it makes life a ton harder than it has to be. Save that. And always be careful. The edges of the sheet metal are sharp, especially the corners. Alright, so I need my triangle cutters. And use the blue handled pair. The one with no grips is a skinnier triangle, and the yellow grips just don't cut as well. Alright, point where these inside lines meet up. Alright, now, triangle's cut. These little rectangles in the corner, I'm also going to cut out. That will make it a ton easier to fold your half-inch tabs. Because on this 1/4-inch line, we're actually going to fold it and flatten it. That way your tray has a rounded edge on the top edge. On this side I still have another line to trim. And this is the not straight edge that I made a line for, and now I'm cutting off. If you start from a factory edge, a straight edge on a new piece of metal, you won't have to do this step. Do not cut this line. I can already see in my head, my mind, people cutting on that line and telling me, but you did it. No, I had an extra line. And then the last little rectangle. All right. All laid out just like it is on the paper. Now I'm going to bend it. Again, specific order here. I'm going to bend the 1/4-inch lines first. I want to make sure this is nice and tight. You won't have to do this. I'm just making sure it's set up for me. That way the metal doesn't slide out. Yep, nice and tight. All right, 1/4 inch one. I'm not just gonna go 90. I'm gonna go as far as I can. All the way up. All right, so I have it, it's past 90. Now I'm going to use the jaws just to flatten it out. You can do the same thing with the hammer. This just saves me a little bit of time. That way, now the edge is rounded and I won't cut myself on it. 1/4 inch on the other side. And all the way up. There you go. Flatten it down and round, round. Not going to cut myself. Then I'm going to do the 1/2 inch tabs. Here's where cutting out that rectangle is going to make it easier. If I didn't, I would have to bend metal that's twice as thick. Lock her down. 90. Now these bends I can't do in here or else I'll smash what I just made. So I have to come over to the small one. Degrees. This one, because it's thicker, I can't lock it the whole way. So all I'm doing is kind of holding this lever down with one hand, like that, and then pulling up with the other one. I have the bottom for the tray all made and bent up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the tray ends. They are 5 3/4 by 2 5/8. I'm going to say this piece will work for one of them. I'll measure over 5 3/4, 5 3/4. And height wise, 2 5/8. 2 4/8 would be 2 1/2. I'll cut this one out. I'm not going to film cutting both, because hopefully if you can follow along and cut one, you can cross my fingers, figure out how to cut a second one exactly the same. Alright, now there's these angles cut on here. So I gotta measure in 2 3/8. 2 3/8. And from that mark, an inch over, which will give me another 2 3/8. Then I'm going to measure down from the top corner, 1.5 inches. Inch and a half. Across. Alright, so I have my end marked out. Other one will be the same way. Now they're going to go inside the ends of the tray. Assembling it's going to be the same exact way. I'm going to punch my holes into the flanges first. And do one on each of these tiny vertical sides. I'm just going to do 2 along the bottom. Again, placement isn't super critical. Line it in here. Mark. I'll put my little divots. Four rivets. Get pop rubber gun. And wiggle it to work it in. There you go. I just hit these with the drill to make it a little bit easier.